Welcome to the Boss Room. My name is Alex Kaz. Tonight I'm joined by my co-host, Shamster.
Boom.
We're also joined by Imamu.
All day, all
night.
We're also joined by Omi.
I'm back.
X-Wolf is in the house.
It's your boy.
And first-time Boss Brigade member, Frank from work.
Where am I? What's going on?
Before we begin, I wanted to give a quick shout out to secondplayer.net, who recently wrote an article about episode 7 of the Boss Room. So I want to give a huge boss shout out to secondplayer.net and Chris Johnston, who is also of the Player One podcast, which I want to give a shout out to them as well. So thank you, secondplayer.net, for the kind words.
Thank you very much. You can follow them at secondplayernet, them or CJ. I don't know if it's multiple people, but thank you again to secondplayer.net.
Thanks, guys. You guys are awesome.
We appreciate it.
All right, let's get into it.
Hype block.
Hype block.
First news article of the night is Next Level Games was purchased by Nintendo. Now, what happened here is basically the board of directors at Next Level Games, they were just looking to sell, and they had a lot of great games that they had made for Nintendo. So Nintendo just went in there and scooped them up because they're a great development studio. They've made games like Luigi's Mansion 3, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, Super Mario Strikers. So I think it's a great pickup for Nintendo. What do you guys think?
Yeah, definitely. That Nintendo was the best partner, the best company to pick them up, since they've already had a working relationship and they've made a ton of games for them. So yeah, that was an easy pickup for Nintendo.
I just assumed that. I mean, it is Nintendo. What games did they do that there wasn't? I don't know if you mentioned it, that weren't with Nintendo as a partnership.
So they made Captain America on the PS3 and the 360. I don't know the other games, but that's one that just I'm familiar with.
So yeah, so basically Luigi's Mansion was Mario Strikers and the other Luigi's Mansion, right? 2 Luigi's Mansions and Mario Strikers as far as Nintendo goes.
Well, they also made Punch-Out on the Wii.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, they made Punch-Out?
Yeah, for the
they're
Wii.
ones that made Punch-Out.
Wow,
Yep.
that
they
is awesome.
basically are Nintendo to me. I mean, obviously they weren't because they got bought by Nintendo, but I still think it's a good move. Lock that partnership up.
Yeah, basically the owners or the board of directors at Next Level Games wanted to sell, so they probably just went right to Nintendo, and Nintendo's like, okay, well, you'll be a first-party studio now. So Nintendo doesn't usually purchase studios. The last one that they purchased was Monolith Soft in 2007, so that's quite a bit of time ago. They're not like Microsoft, who's out here scooping up every studio left and right. So it's really interesting that they did buy them, but it seems like not necessarily that their hands were forced, but it made sense for both sides. And I think just some of the owners or board of directors at the Next Level Games, they just wanted a big payday, pretty much.
Yeah, one other game that they developed was Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon on the Wii.
Oh
my goodness, they do have a huge portfolio, so that was an easy buy by Nintendo, I believe.
Yeah. It was a match made in heaven.
Exactly. And Nintendo's probably their biggest clients anyway, so
Indeed.
you might as well sell the company over to them. And you're buying a company that already won 2 awards, the DICE Awards and the BAFTA Game Awards. I mean, that's a no-brainer. And they already sell like 7.8 million copies worldwide with Luigi's Mansion 3. I mean, it's not like Nintendo's taking a huge risk. They're buying a company that has a winning portfolio. So if I was Nintendo, I probably would have picked them up a long time ago instead of waiting for the company to come to me. But that's just me.
Yeah, Imamo mentioned risk. I feel like there was no risk picking up Next Level Games. And like I said, it's a match made in heaven. It's probably the best partner for Nintendo. And to be honest, probably from the few last games that they've developed, Luigi's Mansion and You just mentioned Dark Moon. Those are probably one of their most popular games of the recent ones. That is. So yeah, it's a great pickup for Nintendo.
Here's a question, and this might not even make any sense. I'm not sure how the business arrangement is all set up, but could they buy if they had enough money or wanted to? Is it possible for Nintendo to buy the Pokemon company?
I
Because
don't
I think
know
that would be a
because
good partnership if they could.
the Pokemon company has so much money and they're so big. They made like
They do a lot of different things too.
they made $1 billion off of Pokemon Go in 2020, which is COVID year, and no one's allowed to go anywhere. So
Yeah,
that's
but
crazy.
Nintendo has enough money to laugh at people when they try to buy them. So I don't know if we want to get into that, but
Nintendo has deep pockets. They can basically buy whoever they want.
Exactly.
As long as the offer is enticing for the other company, they can buy whoever they want.
they have a lot of cash.
Right. It's just a matter of if the partnership works out for them.
To be honest, with a lot of companies, they usually buy other companies that are potentially a risk to them in the future.
That's right.
And I don't see Pokemon Company being a risk to Nintendo. They're more like an ally. So I don't see the purpose of spending billions of dollars when they're not a risk to you and they're gonna make you money regardless.
They could still
Yep.
bring them on board. They could put them in their new theme park. They could do all kinds of stuff. They could probably do that anyway.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Why spend money on a company that's probably gonna partner with you
I was just
regardless?
wondering if it's possible if they wanted to.
No, anything is possible, but it's really not financially feasible, nor is it a needed risk to even do that. For me, I would not do something like that.
And they've been partnered with them for a long time.
Exactly. So it doesn't really make any sense.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure who has more money though. Like
Who
Pokemon could
has
have more
more
money
money?
than Nintendo.
I don't know. I want to say Nintendo has the most cash, but I really don't know. I don't really study their accounting.
They're both balling, so
I could see Google trying to buy them to put them in their Stadia and try to
Oh
lock
my
them
God.
away.
Google will just freeze them in place and won't do anything with them. They do that with everything. They just buy stuff and let it sit. They don't care. Nintendo's basically a family company. I think the current president, or maybe even the last one, I'm not sure, were the first presidents that were outside of the family, something like that. And they've been around since the 1800s.
No, I believe Iwata was the first one outside of the family. And then so the one now I believe is the second one.
Yeah, so it was fairly recent, and yeah, they've been around since like 1890 or late 1800s. So they're playing
1800.
the long game. Yeah, they
Wow.
started as like a playing card company.
Just to put things in perspective, the Pokemon Company is the highest grossing media franchise of all time.
There
with
you go.
95 billion. So Nintendo cannot buy them out.
See, that was my point.
And maybe they will buy Nintendo.
Homie with the cold hard facts.
Boom, drop the bomb on them.
You know, when it comes down to business, man, gotta drop them.
Gotta Google that. All right, what's next?
Speaking of Nintendo, there was a leak that was discovered by a data miner about the potential Nintendo Switch Pro, which would likely be releasing at some point this year. So what it would be is the code name is Aula, and it uses the same Marico Tegra X1 chip made by NVIDIA. And basically what it would do is it would use the same chip, but it would allow for 4K upscaling, because the current Switch does actually have the capability to do that, because it's essentially the same thing as the NVIDIA Shield. So it does have 4K upscaling capability, but Nintendo is holding the clocks back on that to just basically keep performance at a more stabilized rate in some cases. So according to this, it will also have a better screen on it using OLED, and it will have a 4K chip, which they're not sure if it's in the dock or if it's in the Switch itself for upscaling. So I really hope it's in the dock and you can use your current Switch on that to upscale to 4K, but we'll see what happens. It's probably going to be in the Switch.
And that's 5G as well, and it's coming out March 2021.
No, that was not in the leak, but
No, I'm predicting that. It's another prediction.
Yeah, but the PS5 Pro is coming out in March 2021 as well, so that's gonna be a big month.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big month based on your theories.
I know. You'll see.
I think something like that would be amazing, but I don't see Nintendo pushing to launch a new console, especially when the sales figures are still high. Nintendo will probably push it maybe in 2022, I would say. I don't even know if they would even announce it, just because that would kind of reduce the sales of their current gen. But like you said, if it's a dock, definitely they'll probably launch it as an accessory. But most companies don't really do uh like half um updates. They usually want you to buy the entire thing so they can make more money.
Right.
I think the expectation for this is it to be essentially like a PS4 Pro to PS4 like kind of switch where it's not the full next generation, but it's just like a stopgap kind of thing.
With Nintendo, they're always going to. It's hard to. They're really hard to predict, and eventually, when it does come out, it's always going to, most likely based on history, going to be slightly lower specs than you're probably hoping for, but it's still going to be good, and you're still going to get one. But they do that. They do that a lot. I don't think it's going to be as powerful as the PS4 Pro. I could see maybe PS4, but I don't know.
No, it won't even be that powerful, but
No, definitely not.
Not
And
the mobile portion.
like
Not
you
the
said,
part you
it's
take with
probably
you.
gonna do like an upscale where it's not a full-fledged 4K. But also, Nintendo's not the company that cares much about high graphics. They
yep.
care about fun factor. They care about this. We don't care to count how many hair threads are on Mario. We just want to see.
Characters, yeah,
Right. We just want to see it. And I think if they focus on HDR, where they could bring more
that would be
color
cool.
into it, make things pop a little bit, I could see them focusing on that. But high graphics, I don't see that because that would require some developers to change up their game, unless if everything is upscaled through the hardware and it doesn't require developers to make any changes to any of their codes. That's the only time I'll see it because typically they would probably just launch a new console and leave the Switch behind, but the sales figures don't really match for Nintendo to launch something else to pretty much reduce their current sales for this generation when it doesn't matter. But I could be wrong.
No, I agree with that. I don't think there's really even a need for a Switch Pro. I'm just interested to see what they do release because really the only thing I would be interested, I know Shamster is as well, is a TV only one. If there's like a dockable Switch Pro or whatever, I don't even know if I would buy it, to be honest. I may
Right.
just wait for the next generation at that point.
What,
Exactly.
a TV only one you wouldn't buy?
No, I would be interested in that one in
Yeah,
like a souped up Switch with like another screen and stuff. I don't
yeah.
really care about that. So
I think I would prefer a TV only one just because that's where I typically play, and if it's going to be more powerful, I'd rather have that. But if it is like a I don't know traditional Switch, standard Switch, then I would want it to have a bigger screen and more comfortable Joy Cons because it's not comfortable to hold. And
I agree.
those are the two big. And battery would need to be at least 12 hours. That would be a nice upgrade for me, especially if there was a step up in the frame rates or resolution. Other than that, I don't need anything crazy, and I wouldn't expect it to be.
I don't play for 12 hours straight, so I think I'm good. But
No, but you know, well, I guess it charges all the time if you dock it. So
yeah, like right now, to be honest, based on what's going on around the world with the COVID and stuff like that, if it wasn't a pipeline to launch something in 2021, they would probably push it to 2022. Mainly because they don't need a TV only Switch because everyone's gonna be at home anyway,
that's
and they're
true.
probably gonna keep their docks right where it is. So they're not gonna push something that no one's gonna need at this point in time. They're
We'll
probably
see.
gonna wait until everything calms down and then they will launch it.
I agree with Imamu. I feel like they're not going to try and push something now. They're probably going to wait until things calm down a little bit. There's also the marketing side of things. This was just a leak. There's nothing, they haven't put anything out yet. So I doubt that that's going to come this year.
So if they actually end up launching a new Switch, it could be because if you think about it, they didn't launch it at a typical time. They didn't launch in like the fall of any particular year. They launched, I think, in the late winter, early spring, like around March. So honestly, it could be March 2022, and it could be a nice, pretty good hooked up Switch. But we'll see.
I think it'll come out in 2021 at some point, but we'll wait and see. So I hate to keep bringing up Nintendo, but this one actually has both Nintendo and Microsoft in it. So
Hybrid.
apparently back in 2000, Microsoft wanted to just jump into the gaming sphere and just basically take over. So they approached Nintendo to ask if they could purchase them. And basically Nintendo was laughing at them. So essentially Steve Ballmer went to this, which is so funny. He approached them and they essentially laughed at him for an hour to not necessarily want to be purchased by Microsoft. But, Microsoft did eventually become a good gaming company. I still don't think they would buy out Nintendo. I don't think Nintendo would do that, but would be an interesting, let's say Nintendo was down in the dumps at one point and Microsoft won and picked them up. That would be an interesting future that we would live in now, where basically the Series X would have Nintendo stuff on it.
I wouldn't want that.
I wouldn't want it either.
No, me neither.
It'd lose that Nintendo magic.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's definitely. I don't think. I'm not sure how close they actually came to buying them anyway. Like I said, they've been around for.
Well, not close at all, obviously.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't even know if it was, how it even started, or if there was any contacts that contacted each other that actually had a clue. Who knows? But it's definitely a good thing that it didn't happen.
Hey, Nintendo helped create Sony, right? Because
yeah, that's true.
Yep.
I don't see Microsoft has been in the game for quite some time. The Xbox is not their first rodeo. Their first true introduction to console, you could say, would have been the Dreamcast, right?
Indeed.
Because the Windows CE is what Dreamcast was running off of, and Microsoft's been in the gaming industry since what was that, Minesweeper or
Solitaire?
Yeah,
Solitaire,
Solitaire.
Yeah. I beat Solitaire in 71 seconds.
Space Pinball? Remember that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Of course.
All I did was Solitaire.
I want to do a real throwback. Windows 95, Capture the Flag.
I don't even know that one. Oh wait, was that got little pointed and clicked at little like squares, and it's just like a flag would appear?
No, that's Minesweeper.
That's Minesweeper, yeah.
Yeah, that's Minesweeper. No, this was like a first person Capture the Flag game on Windows 95. It was dope.
Right now, I love the competition. We have Sony on one side, Microsoft on another, and we have Nintendo on the other side, all console. And it's just beautiful for the consumers. Nintendo is not playing by the rules of Microsoft or Sony, where they're kind of like battling head to head. So I am really glad that Microsoft did not purchase Nintendo, or else we would have lost Mario and all those other characters that we love so dearly. So,
and plus Microsoft is going towards a service, so it would have started taking the Nintendo games to a service probably. And I definitely wouldn't want that. That's one thing I like about Nintendo the most is you get the game, it's complete. You don't have to wait for crazy updates all the time. You just have it, and it's always going to be great. But it wouldn't have happened like that if they would have went with Microsoft.
Very true. I agree with that. But Microsoft is a company currently right now. I'm respecting Microsoft more.
Me too.
More so than Sony, to be honest.
Yeah, actually, Imamu, I've been considering getting PC Game Pass to try out Forza Horizon 4. I did have a question for you on that, though. Are you able to connect your DualShock 4 to the PC to play that?
Ooh, I did not try that, actually. It felt so natural to use an Xbox controller when I'm on the Microsoft stuff. I don't know, but I just feel like I'm doing something wrong if I use a PlayStation on the Xbox, but I will try that, definitely.
The game might not work if you're using a Sony controller.
They sabotaged it.
But honestly, when I plug in my DualShock or the PS5 right onto my PC, it will not work unless I'm using Steam. So Steam already have all the patches associated with it. So I doubt that Windows will automatically work unless I use the Bluetooth feature and I configure each button individually as a external controller. So once you do that, I'm pretty sure it'll just work for any game that you put on there, regardless if it's Microsoft or not. But you'll probably have to do more work to have it work on the Microsoft end, if that makes sense.
The Elite controller is a superior controller anyway, so don't even attempt to do that.
The price is superior too.
Everything is superior.
Yeah, so Imamu, I'm not sure about what I'm going to do there because I don't know if I really want to go out and get a Xbox controller for that, but we'll see about it. Maybe I'll test out the DualShock 4. But we have one final news topic, which is also Microsoft involved. Omi, why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, so DC Designs has actually released an F15 fighter jet package for Flight Simulator. So apparently the YouTuber Obsidian Ant, shout out to him, has actually tested the package already, and it sounds like it'll be ready for January or June 18th of this year. Yeah, so there actually is going to be 4 different variants of the fighter jet. They'll have the standard F15, the D, E, and I. You'll be able to download that and actually play it on the PC. There's still not a lot of information on how that's going to transfer over to the console once they have a flight simulator available for the new Xbox console. But yeah, I'm pretty pumped about that, and I'm hoping to be able to fly that fighter jet soon.
Just for the new listeners, Omi and Imamu are huge flight simulator fans. Let's just throw it out there. What's your favorite plane, Omi?
It has to be the F-15 right now. But I mean, when I actually played the game before, I used to just fly a lot of Cessna planes, single motor, single engine planes, and those were great.
And I got to ask the question to Imamu as well. Is your plane better than his? Your favorite one?
You mean yeah, of course it is. But I haven't even picked it up yet. But I know it will be because that's just who I am. It just has to be faster than my colleagues here.
Yeah, there's the only thing that I didn't like about the update is that you won't be able to reach max speeds with this fighter jet on the game. So I guess Microsoft has blocked that. You'll be able to reach max speeds, but like I said, I'm happy that they've done that. This will give the simulator a whole new twist, and I can't wait to play that.
So, Omi, once there's actually a release date on Flight Simulator, are you going to then start attempting to get a Series X at that point?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Going to need that new hardware.
But it should be on the PC as well, correct?
Yeah, so it's there's not a lot of information on it, but it sounds like it'll be for the PC game first, because it's a third party developer. So I'm not sure how they're going to include that on the console version of the game.
I love
that's
that.
still out in the works, but yeah. That like I said, that's going to give the simulator a whole new twist because you've never been able to fly fighter jets in the game.
So technically, I'll let you know how it is then.
Yeah, I mean, if you get your hands on it before I do, then
Well,
definitely.
he's got PC Game Pass, so he can really download it at any point.
Exactly.
So Omi, the did you ever play Ace Combat 7, the VR version for PSVR?
I did not.
Because I don't know, but I think that might be really cool because you do use the fighter jets and you could do like dives and things over the ocean, I think. So you might want to check that out.
Oh yeah, definitely put it on my list.
Got to get that PSVR and a PS4 or 5 with the adapter.
Oh my goodness. Or the entire cockpit. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
If you're gonna go that far.
Three ultra wides. Got to line them up.
Oh, I've got that already.
You got 3 desks?
I have 1 ultra wide. I don't need 3.
You need at least 3 for that.
Boss featured topic.
BFT.
Okay, well, essentially what the boss feature topic is tonight is our current backlog of games that we're either playing or planning on playing, and I'm just going to add I'm going to add a couple things for myself, and others are allowed to as well for the wish list. My wish list is not games that are necessarily out, but ones that I think will come out. Frank from work, do you want to start us off? Do you have anything that you're looking to play?
Honestly, I am more of a Half-Life game player, and I haven't played the most recent revision, which is more of a fan-based remake of the entire 15-year-old platform. So I got to get back into that. They put a lot of work over a lot of years to basically redo the whole game, and I want to check that out.
Cool.
Thanks.
Wait, they redid the whole game, or is that the VR version?
Fan mod.
Yeah, it was
okay.
it was a fan mod. It just got released, and it's been well received. A lot of hours, a lot of passion put into it. I got to check it out again. Again, it's over a 15-year-old game, but I have to check out the new one now.
I'm a huge Half-Life fan, so I totally get you.
Did anyone play the VR one? I forget what it's
I have
called.
not.
Yeah,
No, I
it
haven't
was
played the
only
VR
made for
one.
VR. It's supposed to be good.
Yeah, no, go. It's just I got to upgrade my hardware to play that.
X-Wolf, what is in your backlog right now?
In my backlog, honestly, my thing is I'm really waiting for that Monster Hunter Rise for the Switch, man. That looks really, really good.
Yo,
Like,
to be honest, I'm gonna blow your mind right now because the demo is out right now.
What?
Yeah, it was released yesterday.
Nah, man, I gotta mess around and jump on that, man. And another thing too is Sephiroth for Super Smash. Man, he's a beast. He is so good, man.
I gotta download it, or I have the pass. I just haven't played it yet, so I'm gonna wait, and I'm excited to check him out.
Yeah, he's pretty punishable, but he has some really strong attacks and he has really good range. So he's one of those characters that you need to know what you're doing. If you don't, you're just gonna get punished. But other than that, I'm still on Cyberpunk. I haven't really, to be honest with you, I kind of dwindled off a little bit and I jumped back into Genshin Impact. I don't know why. I don't
That's
know
what we heard.
Yeah, like I don't know what's
I know
going
why,
on.
because Cyberpunk's broken. That's probably why.
It's not even that. It's not even that, because when I was playing it, I was enjoying it. I was having fun, but it's just something about it just made me fall off, and I just fell back into Genshin Impact. They came out with new events and stuff like that, and it just was so good. They're just throwing pyro gems at you, so I'm basically stocking up my pyro gems, which is in-game money to buy like 5-star characters, which is like really rare. So yeah, man, just bouncing around a little bit.
Nice.
So I didn't think I'd hear that from you. I thought you were still living inside Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna interject with a few of mine because I actually have a pretty long list. I broke it down into a bunch of different sections, so sorry to do that. But I included a list of Switch games to start. So Hyrule Warriors, that's a game that I started, but I haven't really gotten back into it because basically I had the PS5 and I've been hyped to play all those games, and I've been playing a lot of those type of games. So I would definitely want to get back into that. I'm not sure I'm going to go back and do a lot of the side quests. I'll probably just go through and do the story just to play through it and see the story. Another game that I am sort of in progress of a lot is Mario 3D All-Stars. So I am playing Super Mario Galaxy still. I'm trying to go for 100% of that. So I got the 120 stars with Mario, and now I'm about 90 stars or so in with Luigi. And then once I get the 120 stars with Luigi, that at that point I will have completed it. So once I'm done with that, I do want to jump into Mario Sunshine and Mario 64 and try and 100% both of those. But it's more of a long-term goal, I would say. But
yeah.
I love the Mario 3D games, so why not? Another game that I definitely want to play, and I know it's a short game too, so it's, to me, I'll play it at some point, is Panzer Dragoon Remake, which I got on the Switch. And
awesome.
I have not played the original game. Have any of you guys?
Nope.
I played it
Nope.
a long time ago when I was a kid. I didn't take very long playing it, but it was fun.
What's the game about?
It's an on-rail shooter where you're on a dragon.
Right.
Oh, it's like Galaga?
It's almost more like Star Fox, I would say.
Right.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it looks more like Star Fox.
And the dragon is like, it has like a demonish face with like big teeth and stuff like that, and it shoots out. Okay, I think I know.
It's like a third-person view.
Yeah.
So you don't really see the front of the dragon necessarily.
Oh,
but
you don't.
You see the back.
back.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I've seen that.
But yeah, that one I am excited to play, but I already have it and I'll play it at some point, but got a lot of games I'm already playing right now. So final game for my Switch backlog is Untitled Goose Game, which I got on Switch as well, the physical version, and it's cool. It's got like a manual in it. It's got a map in it, a sticker. The physical copy is very cool of that, and I definitely just want to play it. I'm sure that's a short game as well. So I have been liking getting indie games physically on the Switch. I think it's great supporting these smaller developers, and Untitled Goose Game looks like just a fun time. So I'm excited to check that out.
That sounds amazing. You have a great list.
Well, that's not it. I got some.
Goodness.
That's
really?
only my Switch games.
Awesome. That's only the Switch.
That's only Switch games. So I'm gonna go on to the Wii U, and then I'll save the other ones for later. And
now, let me ask you a question: how far back to go? How far back to go with your backlog? Like Untitled Goose Game. If you never played it, I don't know. Like, how far back are we going with our backlogs? Like 5, 10, 20 years? Because I got stuff that I haven't played.
It doesn't matter. It's just a curated list. It doesn't have to be any time
I
frame
just
or
want to make sure there's
whatever.
no rules. I got a list. I'm good.
No rules. Yeah, no.
No rules.
So I actually only picked Nintendo consoles because it was kind of easier for me because I had a lot of stuff on my mind that I do want to play. So my next list is for the Wii U, which I have Pikmin 3, which I picked up the that copy before the Switch version came out because it was going to be cheaper to get that. I think I only paid like $15 for it, so that's a great deal. Yeah, so that's one game that I want to play, and I think it actually uses the tablet for some purposes. So I think the gameplay may actually be better on the Wii U than it would be on the Switch. And my other Wii U game is Paper Mario Color Splash. The Paper Mario Origami King came out in 2020, and that game was amazing. So I played some other Paper Mario games last year, and I basically enjoyed all of them. So this is another game that I really want to get into on the Wii U.
Didn't you beat Paper Mario Color Splash?
No, I haven't played that one.
Oh, that's why I was confused. I thought you said you beat it before, but then I thought you said it was in your backlog.
No, I beat Sticker Star, and
Origami King.
Yeah, Origami King I beat.
That's the one
Yeah.
I'm thinking of, Origami King. And you're doing the N64 one?
Yep, I'm still in progress with that.
All right, yeah. I was wondering how good Color Splash was, and I was thinking you beat it, but that's Origami King.
No, I haven't played it. Champster, what is in your backlog?
Let's go with the Wonder Boy and the Dragon's Trap is probably the biggest one. Well, so these are games Wonder Boy and the Dragon's Trap is a great game. It's one that I actually got pretty far through with my kid. It's really cool, but we got stuck and it got really hard all of a sudden, and we're at least 3/4 of the way through it, I'd say. But I'm at a point where I couldn't figure out what to do, and I kept dying, and I kept thinking it was hard. I think it's like called like the Ninja Temple or something like that. It's the level with the cherry trees or cherry blossoms, and it's really really interesting. But then it gets really hard, and I think I need to find a grind point because whenever I go on YouTube to figure out how to do this, people just have tons and tons of items, and I play the game just fine, and I just don't end up with tons and tons of items even when I run around for a while and try. So there's got to be certain points where you can get a lot of items in the game. So I stopped playing it is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, for that one, I have it, and I did play through it a little bit. I think I got the dragon, I got the mouse, and there was one more
There's a
that
bird.
was yeah, I think I might have got the bird, but I didn't get any farther past that.
There's another one.
I think I left off in the fish level areas. That's sort of where I stopped.
Yeah, it's really good. It's short and sweet. I mean, it's not super super short, but it's based on an old game for the Sega Master System. I think it's the third one. I think it's one of those. The lineage of Wonder Boy is kind of weird anyway. But so I just stopped playing it, but I love that game. I even bought, and I mentioned this before, when I really like a game soundtrack, I'll buy the record. I have the record for that, and I listen to it all the time. It's really cool. The vinyl's awesome. It's incredible. And in fact, in the game, you can go back and forth between the original soundtrack and the new version, which is full blown instruments and everything.
Yeah, you can switch the graphics too. You can switch from the
Back and forth.
Yeah, you can switch from the hand-drawn art style of today right back to the Master System art style, which looks amazing.
Yeah, and the reason I brought it up, even though I played it mostly, because I want to definitely get back to it. I think about it a lot. And the other reason I brought it up because another related game that's in my backlog is one of the games that's sort of based on Wonder Boy. It is Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom, which I have the physical copy, and I also have the digital copy because I got it really cheap a few weeks ago, pretty cheap. That's the other reason I brought that up was because that game is another game that's on my backlog, and the soundtrack is just as good in that one too, at least from what I hear and what I sampled online. So those are definitely two big ones, but they're smaller games. Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, very violent game. I still want to get to that. That's another game I really like a lot. I don't typically play first person shooters, but that one is a single player game and has really cool boss fights, and I like kind of like futuristic societies that are a play on history especially. So I want to do that. Wolfenstein 1 I would add with that, but I kind of fell off of that one towards the end. But this one I want to play this one. It looks really good too. I want to check it out on the PS5. I want to see how good that looks.
Omi, what do you got?
Yeah. So I'm actually going to give Borderlands 3 another chance. I actually played this last year. I played like 10 hours of it and I got bored. I felt like the game was really slow. And started playing Warzone a lot. But I'm gonna give this a chance again. So I've got this on my list, on my backlog. And
For Borderlands, I would say if you're gonna go get back into it, I would recommend waiting until you get the next gen console, because that I heard the upgrades on that specifically for the Xbox are really, really good.
oh well, yeah, good tip. Yeah, so I'll probably just wait and put it in the backlog again, but very far out. And then the other games that I have are they're not necessarily games that have been released, but I definitely have them on my list of games that I want to play. Overwatch 2, I love the first version of Overwatch, so I'm waiting for that to come out so I can play it. And I am also trying to get back into Diablo. So I have Diablo 3 that I got for Christmas a couple years ago, and it's still actually in the wrap. I never even opened it. But I played Diablo 1 back when I was a kid, back in like the 90s. So I played that one and never played it again. So I want to get back into playing some Diablo.
You never played Diablo 3?
I never played Diablo 3. I have it, but I've actually never played it.
I'm not a big Diablo fan, but and I might have asked you this before, but did you ever play Hades? Or
I did.
Have you played that yet?
No, I've never played that.
Because I think it has Diablo 3 vibes or Diablo vibes. I'm not sure because I haven't played it, but it's supposed to be an incredible game. I think it was up for Game of the Year this year, and
Yeah,
check it out.
Yeah, it's on PC and Switch.
I played the first version of Diablo back in 1999, 1997, around there. I can't remember the exact year. I played a bunch of that and then never played it again. And I got Diablo 3 a couple years ago, I think 2 years ago or a year ago, for Christmas. Never played it, but I have it there, and that's one of the games that I definitely want to try out again. Let me see. I think I may have one more. Yeah, the only other game that I have on my list that I definitely want to play is obviously Flight Simulator, the new one. So yeah, the minute I get my hands on the new Xbox, I'm buying that.
Can you be the Red Baron in that game?
Which one?
Flight Simulator, the new one.
Red Baron? I have no idea.
Omi, specifically since you're an Xbox guy, what is your hype level or anticipation for Halo Infinite?
Very high. Very, 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 very high.
I definitely want to check it out at some point. Like, I'm really considering maybe getting a Series S at some point, maybe in a year or so from now or whatever, because I definitely want to check out that.
So the last Halo game that I played was Halo 4. And that was actually on the Xbox 360. I haven't played any other games from that franchise since, actually.
Nice. Well, I mean, it'll be a great way to get back into it. And I think, the Master Chief Collection is really good right now. So if you either have it or, get Game Pass at some point, I'm sure whenever you get the Series X, it'll come with like a subscription, like a 3-month trial or whatever to Game Pass. So that'll be cool to try that out then.
But it is cheap anyway, I think, for what you get.
Yep.
That's one of the reasons I want to get a Series X at some point. But I'll probably wait for the first price drop.
Now that we're talking, and I just went to my cabinet where I have all my games, I actually found the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Also a game that I've actually never opened. It's still in the wrapper. Never played it. Yep. So that's another one on my list.
The problem for that game with me is I played it after The Witcher, and I really like, for the most part, I don't know. I found that game too buggy, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a lot of bugs in that game.
I'll give it a shot.
It's still considered one of the greatest RPGs of all time. So
yeah.
Yeah.
At least Western ones, but
yeah. So I have quite a few games that are still under wrapper that I haven't played. So got to give those a chance at some point.
All right. Well, Imamu, what do you got for us in your backlog?
Currently, I'm still just big shout out to Supercell people. I love playing Brawl Stars on my phone whenever there's a downtime. That game is so much fun. I love playing it with my son.
That is an amazing game. Amazing game. I have it on my phone too.
Can you guys describe the gameplay for me?
It's almost like a team battle. There are different types of gameplay where you could play almost soccer style game on there. You have like tons of characters with different powers and different abilities, and you have to pretty much purchase each ability with the virtual currency that they have based on the amount of matches that you win. You get certain power-ups. It's just so much fun, and that company just always update and provide new characters that are fun. And it's just an addictive game, I have to say. Every morning you get a free chest with different uh, awards, so it kind of like forces you to
It
get up
incentivizes you.
early.
So
Yeah, it really does, to wake up and then open up the chest and get something, and you could continue using all their characters. It's probably one of the best free games out there on my phone that I play constantly.
Downloading right now.
is this in your backlog, or is it something that you're currently playing?
This is something that I'm currently playing, and it will always be in my backlog. Um, um, yeah, and the great thing with it is that it allows you to play with other people, up to 3 people at a time. Or if you have like a bunch of other friends, if you're lucky, you can all play within one match of 3 versus 3. It's just so much fun, and big shout outs to them.
So
Yeah,
it's in your backlog and your front log.
It's in my backlog, front log, and current log.
Yeah, I feel like Supercell makes the best mobile games.
Yes, they do.
They're also the creators of Clash Royale. That's a great
Clash
game as well.
Royale, exactly. And I stayed playing with that. That seems like more of a Nintendo type of game because they focus
Yeah.
on the fun factor. If
Oh, yeah.
Nintendo was to buy Supercell, would have been like, yeah, it makes sense. It just
But those are all microtransaction-y, right?
you don't have to.
Yeah, you
That's
don't
the
have
great
to.
thing with them. If you're playing the game and you could, like, I've played the game for 3 years and I didn't even spend anything until this year. So you don't have to do that.
They got
Yeah,
you.
you just gotta grind. There is a
You just have
grind
to grind.
factor. Yeah, there is a grind factor.
You probably just spent money just to support the developers at that point. 'cause
That's
you-
exactly the only reason why I bought something. I didn't need it, but I was just like, man, I played this thing for that. You know what? Here's $10.
What did you buy? Like an in-game helmet or something? What?
No, it was it was almost like a season pass, you could say.
Yes.
But their season pass is not really yeah, I guess you could call it a season pass.
Is it $10? I thought it was like $5.99 because the one for Clash Royale, which is a game that I play like every day, like 15 times a day, is $5.99. It's
No, I gave them $10. Like I did the $5.99 and then I bought something else.
Oh, okay.
The helmet.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Helmet.
gotta get the helmet, bro. and it comes with a tie. You need it. So nah,
It's rare.
Bolo tie.
Yeah, bolo tie. That's all. Or else I would request my refund. If I can swap over most of my PS4 games over to the PC, I will do that. Just because I don't want to really tackle 2 different consoles. But I'm also gonna try to do the Steam remote play feature and see how well that works on my Nvidia Shield. So if anybody have played Cyberpunk 2077 on the Steam Nvidia Shield, please give me a shout out and let me know how that turned out. And the other game, big shout out to you, Shamster, for also putting Wolfenstein. I'm a huge fan of Wolfenstein, and I've played most of the previous versions, but I do want to play the Old Blood, the New Colossus, Young Blood, and Cyberpilot. So yeah, big shout out to them. The first time I played this, I was so shocked
It's good.
because in the very beginning of the previous game to that, the decision of do you want to kill him or do you want to kill that one? I was just like, wait, is this game really asking me who to die already? And I had to make the decision. That one was just like, this game is serious.
Are you talking about? You're talking about the New Order, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah,
you know exactly what I'm talking about. And
it starts out a little too much like Call of Duty, like one of the ones where you're in the trenches. That one takes a little while to get going, but once it gets going, it
it just keeps running, and you don't know what's coming, and you don't know which one is the antagonist because you're just like, she looks like a bad guy. Oh, there's another antagonist.
Did you find like the secret base or whatever where there's like a mattress against the wall? I think it's a mattress, something like that. But you can go through the wall and play the original Wolfenstein.
And did you say what am I looking for?
No, I said you could play the original Wolfenstein
Oh, I see.
in that game. It's like in the game itself there is like a base, like a hideout, and
Hmm.
you go there. But I think it's somewhere in there. I think there's like a room with a mattress near the wall or a poster or something like that. And I
Okay.
forget how it works, and you can find it online. But you can go in and you can play the original Wolfenstein. I don't know if you got there yet. You said you didn't play it. You just played the beginning, or did you actually play the whole thing
I played the
for
whole
that one?
thing.
For
I
that one,
played the
but
whole thing. I beat
yeah.
it.
So the
Yeah,
other
I beat
ones,
it.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. So
Yeah.
the other ones are in your backlog.
Yep. Those other 4 games, I didn't play them yet.
Yeah, I love Wolfenstein, and I actually did play the original game for about 15 minutes when I found it. It was funny because I actually played the original when it first came out, which is crazy.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Wow. That's
Where'd you play
awesome.
it?
I played it on an old Apple back in the day. It was
Was
funny
it
when we were
yours
first
or
playing
was
it.
it
No,
was
it
it
was a
yours or a
friend's.
friend's?
It was a friend's, yeah. So here I am playing Colossus, and I'm like, oh, there's a video game here. Let me play it. And for 15 minutes, I was playing the original.
Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah, and that's pretty much my main backlog. So I can't wait to play some more stuff. That Microsoft's been launching a lot of games lately, so I've just been downloading them and keeping them in my log, just getting ready to play. But I'll probably have a new list for you guys soon because my log is just filling up every time. So
Very nice. Very nice. Shamster, you want to get into the rest of your backlog?
I'll rattle some off. 3 of them are kind of connected anyway. For some reason, I have a whole bunch of Zelda ones on here, and I love
Yeah, me
Zelda.
too. Me too.
And I love them. And I played all of the ones pretty much that I have on the backlog except for one. But I always fall out of those, even though I absolutely love Zelda. And I beat Breath of the Wild, I beat Ocarina of Time, and I got deep into a lot of the other ones. And it's still one of my favorite franchises. But Link's Awakening, I always want to get back to that. You have to be in the mood and ready to sit down for a while.
Which one? The one for the Switch or the one for the Game Boy?
The Switch one. The Switch one.
Yeah, I just like once I got that one, I went hard and went straight through that. I love that game.
How long is it?
I think it was like 15 hours. It wasn't that bad.
Okay, so I'm definitely going to do that soon. The other one, Wind Waker, I'm at the last dungeon, so it's kind of like Wonder Boy and the Dragon's Trap, where I kind of stop for a little bit, and I'm definitely going to go back to it. Play with my son. The thing is,
Is that the one for the Wii U?
yeah, the HD version for the Wii U. I forgot to mention that.
I finished that like a few years ago. It was really good, and I actually really like how the Wii U gamepad uses like you can look at all your
Oh yeah,
inventory while
that's the best.
you're it's really cool.
There's nothing wrong with that game, and it's crystal clear. It's just very color. It just looks good. I didn't give it a chance a long time ago, when it first came out, because I thought it looked too kiddish or too cartoony. But once you get into that game, it's just straight Zelda, and it's good. But anyway, the reason I fell out of it mainly because every time I do go back to it, the aiming drives me nuts, and it takes a while to get used to. And where
Mhm.
I am, I have to aim a lot. So and then Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity, I'll throw on the backlog list just because it kind of got pushed to the side a little bit recently. It just
Yeah,
came
same.
out.
I mean, same thing happened with me.
I'll definitely play it though. The other one's Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition.
For that one, I would actually take that off my backlog because I just stopped playing it for a long time. And when Age of Calamity was announced, I tried to get back into it, but I wasn't really into it at that point. So I just kind of gave up on it. And Age of Calamity, I do want to get back into at some point, though.
I was actually going to ask you because you mentioned that Hyrule Warriors, the one for the Switch, actually plays really well. And did you say it plays at least the frame rate is a little bit more? It's
Yep.
a little better than the Age of Calamity.
Yeah, the Age of Calamity is 30, at best, and then Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition is 60 frames per second.
Yeah, so I definitely want to check that out, but it's very similar to Age of Calamity, at least the gameplay.
Mhm.
And then I guess I'll mention one more, just because. Well, two: The Messenger, and the only reason I haven't gotten into it yet, haven't opened it yet because I got it from Special Reserve Games. Shout out!
Shout out.
Really, really nice box.
I had the same one, and Shamster and I ordered these at the same time. I did open it, and I did actually play through the Messenger. It's a phenomenal
You should let
game,
me
and
borrow that one so I don't have to open mine.
no, you're gonna open your own.
Well, I probably won't either because the price for it keeps going up, and it's like a special packaging. And I'll probably get it on sale at some point for like hopefully cheap, digital. It's kind of what I did with Monster Boy. So I'll mention that quick. But the last one that I have no idea why it's on my list because I've played it a lot. I love Mario. It's Super Mario U Deluxe. I had it for I have Super Mario for the Wii U. Super Mario, was it New Super Mario? New Super Mario U, I think it
I
was.
want that game.
New Super Mario Bros. U. So it's funny how all these games that you're playing, I've actually played through. This one,
I'm halfway through it.
I 100%ed it. It was so much fun. I loved it.
Yeah, it's great. It's incredible. It's Mario, but for some reason I had it for the Wii U. I played it for a while, then I got the Switch, and then it wasn't out, and then I didn't go back, and then now I have it, and I played it. It gets a little hard though. I want to say I don't know. I feel like it's harder than most Mario games. I could be wrong.
No, I don't think so. But I did love the gliding mechanic in that one suit that you get, that one power-up suit. It's phenomenal. It's so satisfying when you glide down and like collect all the coins and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a great game. It's just one I have to because I beat all the Mario games, so I have to go back at some point and get through it. Which I'll do because it's just a game. It's not going to take me a lot of hours.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just bang it out tonight. I'll report back. So
Hang it out.
what I removed from my backlog. This is the last thing I'll say. I finally removed, and you're going to hate this, Kaz. I finally removed Witcher 3 from my backlog because
What?
I've tried 4 or 5 times. The last time I gave it
No,
I really tried.
I just want to say how convenient when
It
all
is.
this CD Projekt Red stuff comes out. You're just like, you know what? I give up on this company.
No, I don't. The company's still good. I like them, and I'll probably end up playing it again. Well, first of all, open world games. Except for Breath of the Wild, I can't get into them. I
It's
try, and
understandable.
in Witcher 3, there's just if I had to say what I don't like, the first things I would say would be the controls and the camera's a little clunky, I think, and when you jump around and stuff, it's still fine. It's still a great game. And then the other one's just all the icons and stuff. It's like it's a lot, and if you go away for a couple weeks, you're done because it's one of those games.
I mean, it's an RPG at its core, so that's kind of how it's built.
I just know realistically, I'm never gonna beat it. I just don't
No, that's
think
fair. No, that's definitely
it's still a
fair.
great game. I might mess around with it. And then who knows? I heard you got to just keep going and going for a while, and then you get hooked. But I played at least 10, 15, 20 hours, and it's a lot of work.
If it doesn't hook you by then it's not a game for you, which is fine. If it's not a game for you, it's not a game for you.
I'll try Witcher 4 if it comes out.
So I just have two more quick ones before we get into the boss bits. I have on the 3DS, Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. This one I started like a year ago or so, or maybe a year and a half, and I played through most of it, but this is a game that I have to go back into and finish, which I actually have the strategy guide for it, so it's actually cool to use that while playing the game.
Add that to mine too because that's another one. And I played a lot of it though. I'm like halfway through it, but I got to finish it.
I'm like 80% through of it. I just have to finish it up pretty much.
Yeah, I think I have the guide too.
Yeah, so my very last one is one I have not started yet, but one that I really want to get into, which is Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap on the Game Boy Advance. So, not really much to say about this game, but excited to check that out whenever I get a chance. Finally, I have one more wishlist item, which is The Last of Us 2 on PS5, specifically a PS5 version of that, because that game already looks fantastic on the PS4. I just want them to do some upgrades, and there's already rumors about a PS5 version coming out for that game. So just give me it, and I'll play it.
I hope they have some extra content because I'm going to get it again anyway, or play it again anyway.
I mean, I feel like at that point, they'll probably package it with the online multiplayer.
The more Last of Us 2, the better. But I'm surprised to hear you say that because you didn't seem too pumped about that game.
For me, it's more of just seeing how like good the visuals can look, and I mean, maybe the gameplay looks pretty good, to be honest. So I mean, if the gameplay is good, I'm gonna still try it out.
It's going to sound really good in your headphones, the Pulse 3D headphones,
Yeah, I'm sure.
and scary too.
I'm excited for that. Okay, well, now let's get into the boss bits. So for me, I've been basically only playing Ghost of Tsushima still. So at this point, I have about 30 plus hours into it, and I cleared out the entire first island, Izuhara, And now I moved on to the second island. And the great thing about that is once you move on to the second island, there are more enemies, different types of enemies that appear. So you do still have to be agile with the different types of combat that you use, which I really like and is keeping me on my toes. One thing that I did with this specifically was I did use the remote play a lot, and I also wanted to test to see how Ghost of Tsushima looked on the base PS4 natively. So when I compared the two, it was pretty comparable. There wasn't necessarily a big difference in streaming it from the PS5 to the PS4 versus actually playing it natively. So once I tested that out, I'm basically only doing the remote play onto my PS4 when I hang out downstairs. But it was cool to see how that worked differently. And the one thing I'll say about it is, had I not seen how it performs on the PS5 natively, I would say the game looks amazing and it runs great. Like, it definitely is very playable natively on the base PS4, but you can definitely tell a difference when you use the next gen console, even for this game, which there's only minor upgrades for. So it's really noticeable.
So I downloaded Maneater and I checked it out to see how it looked on the PS5, and it's 60 frames per second. It's 4K native, and it looks pretty good. But the reason I'm even mentioning this is because you mentioned the lighting effects and how it looks for the game you've been playing, and it looks good, but it doesn't look great. I don't think they implemented ray tracing at all yet. I don't know if they will, and there's some other problems with the game. I'll get into that later, but I wanted to mention it.
Maneater, I did claim that on PS Plus, and I played it for like 5 minutes, and then
Me
I
too.
stopped playing because I did not like the controls of that game.
The camera is a nightmare.
Yeah, it's not good.
And I did like well, since we're talking about it now, one thing I did do that was fun. I like when you can glide through the top of the water sort of with your fin out, but that's it. And then the other thing that was actually pretty funny was I actually beached myself and I was bouncing around the beach. There was a big shark bouncing around the beach and he was just trying to eat everybody. And it was just ridiculous. And then he starts to run out of CO2 or oxygen or whatever, and you have to go back in the water.
Well, yeah, that's how they breathe.
Yeah, I was jumping around. I was jumping around the beach for a while. People were laying out. I was jumping all around.
Getting that tan.
I really want to try that game. That game looks so much fun.
It's pretty stupid, but it's kind of, when it's free, it's definitely worth checking out. And if the controls were better and the camera was better and there was ray tracing, because it's a PS5 version, it's just an upgraded version. It was free, but they did it for the PS5. It could be a lot better. It's kind of like just a cult, cheesy, fun game.
My son and I was just watching the previews of the game, and we were just laughing throughout the whole time. It
That's
almost
right.
seems like Sharknado, but for video games.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't take it too seriously. There's not a storyline. Just play the game and just have fun.
Yeah.
The opening cutscene is out of like the what's that fishing show? Deadliest Catch. Basically, it's like
Deadliest
kind of like
Catch,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That's pretty funny.
It's just pretty ridiculous. It's fun to mess around with. You should be able to get like a DLC character like Echo or something and throw him in there.
That would be awesome.
So, Omi, what do you got for updates?
So I've got updates on Warzone. For all those Warzone players out there, I'm pretty sure they already know, but Raven Software had some updates to some of the newly introduced weapons. The DMR, which was the meta weapon from the Cold War integration, was actually nerfed. They reduced the headshot damage on that one. So basically, the weapons that were overpowered from the Cold War integration were all nerfed. The most used ones, the DMR, the Type 63, the Mac 10, which is actually my favorite close range weapon, and the dual pistols were all nerfed. The dual pistols were actually the hip fire speed was actually upgraded, so they're trying to get people to use that instead of using single shooters that were basically overpowered, and they were great weapons on a big map, but if you had those weapons upgraded, you had the advantage to win the game. So they've cut those down. So now people are cycling back to the Grau and the Kilo as their main weapons, and I'm actually using the MP5 now. trying to see if I can get back into that one and cycling through the Mac 10, because I feel like there's probably going to be a second nerf of that weapon because it's still overpowered. But yeah, that's the update on the Warzone side of things.
Very cool. Imama, you said you played a little bit of that. Is that right?
Yeah, I did play a little bit of that. I died immediately, then I got captured, and then I died in prison, and I'm like, what am I doing here? But overall, the game is just gorgeous. So I will be spending some time with it, especially the fact that it's free, which is
Yep.
remarkable.
Have you tried the new map?
I have not tried the new map yet, no. But this weekend I will. Hopefully I'll see you there.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. But don't kill me.
He'll be camping.
Yeah, he's gonna be
I'll be
camping
waiting
somewhere.
for you.
And I've been watching a lot of the ninja kills on YouTube, and these guys are insane.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Shout out to Korean Savage on YouTube. That guy is the king of Warzone.
Oh my goodness. These guys after watching any YouTube video of these guys playing, it just makes me not want to play. Just because they're so good.
Imamu, what do you got for updates?
As you know, I'm still playing Cyberpunk. I am at the last mission, and just before I enter in the building, there's a big disclaimer. If you enter this building, you won't be coming back out. It's like, please handle your business. Anything that you need to take care of, do it now. So that scared the bejesus out of me. So I just walked away. So
Yeah, the same thing happened for The Witcher, but the final mission was so long, so it's probably still going to be like a long time. So definitely upgrade as much as you can right now. So actually, in regards to that, once you actually beat the final mission, do you think you're going to be done with that game for now until they actually added more patches?
No, I actually want to do more of the corporate side of it. So that's
Mhm.
to the right. When you first start. And then after that, I'll probably do like more of the nomads. Just because after watching some of the YouTube videos, the storyline is so different, and it seems like it's a completely different game. So shout out to this company for it's almost like 3 games in one. To be honest, it's just a full movie, and it's all depicting on which character you select. And I'm definitely gonna play the game again, but I don't know if I'm gonna. The only thing that might slow me down is if I jump on there and I have to start all over again with all the weapons and stuff like that. Oh, that's gonna be a killer. But
Yeah, I don't know if there's a new game plus, because if there is, you could create 2 new game plus files and then just basically start one on each file, you know what I mean, of each of the other storylines.
But it looks like if you do the more corporate stuff, most of the things that you get rewards for, you get a lot of money. So you might be able to just get really fast weapons, and your suits will be fully upgraded.
That works too.
Yeah, exactly. And the reason why I didn't go in the building, because I have like a few ladies I need to woo in the game. So
Ladies.
yeah, I have to. That's like one of my thing. And at first I was playing the game, and I'm like, okay, I just wooed the first lady. Will the other lady find out if I woo another lady? And then I did, and she didn't find out. So now I'm like, I'm gonna try and woo every girl I see.
All set.
My.
I think you need a patch.
Yeah. Maybe I catch a virus.
A drama
or something.
patch.
There might be a virus. So the game is still very much fun for me. And I'm still playing some of the brat battles, which is more like a fist fight with some of the heavyweights. And I'm at the last part, and I beat most of the brats. The last part, I went into the ring. He punched me twice. I died. And so I'm like, okay, I need to level up. So, and I feel pretty strong already. So the game has a long way to go. Like for me, even though I'm at 70 hours of gameplay
Wow.
so far, and I am still not strong enough. And I love it, actually. The fact that I'm not strong enough makes me feel happy. This is the first
Nice.
game that I'm like, wow, there's a lot more to do, and I want to become like a god. So
like real life.
well, I'm already a god. I'm already a god in real life. I just need
Lowercase
to
G.
Exactly.
Well, for this one, you're already pretty much a cyborg anyway, which is kind of cool. So, I mean, just keep upgrading to those robot parts.
Exactly. And it's a lot of fun. And the weapons, I'm at a new level where a lot of my weapons are super OP. Where one weapon it kind of like shoots mini missiles, and I'm like, is this even fair? For the other guys, I kind of feel sorry for my enemies. Yeah, so lots of fun with the game still, even though it has a lot of issues and stuff like that. But it's so much fun just to play with it. So it's taking a good portion of my time, and Brawl Stars is taking a good portion of my time. And I'm definitely gonna jump into a lot of the other Microsoft games like Gears Tactics and stuff like that.
I literally just downloaded Brawl Stars as you guys were talking. So,
Yeah, just give me your
Multitask.
information, and we will be partners, and I will help you walk through.
Did you pick up MK11 yet? Because I wanna play you. I want to play with you on that in that.
That is true. We did talk about that the last
Because
time.
I'm ready.
I think I downloaded already.
he's got to wait for the PS5 version, though, right?
Is it cross-platform?
I don't know. It's a good question.
I thought that's one thing we were going to test, but Mortal Kombat 11 is great. I'm playing that. I'm playing with Jade right now. I switched from Rambo, which is incredible. I'm running through the crypt, but I want you to get on there so we can play. In fact, I tweeted out the clip of the load time from earlier when I was playing. It is so fast. It's not even funny. It's like boom, that's it.
Really?
So check it out.
One kind of funny thing too is one of the big reasons in Ghost of Tsushima when I play that, why I like using the remote play versus natively, is the load times are faster when you're streaming it from the PS5 versus the
Really?
PS4. So yeah, it's funny.
That is funny. Well, actually, when mentioning load times again, and I bring this up again because I mentioned Maneater, the load times on that, at least at the beginning, seemed kind of slow.
Long.
Yeah, it was weird.
Maneater was bad.
Yeah, it's just not optimized for the PS5, and it's probably not even optimized for the PS4. It's okay
Wow.
though. I don't want to rip it up. It's definitely a fun time to mess around with. I could see it being a party game for sure.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
I'm sure they'll add in a patch to clear out the load times at some point.
And add some ray tracing.
Shamster, what other games you got?
Well, I touched on Maneater, obviously, and I touched on Mortal Kombat 11. There's not too much to say about that. I brought it up a few times. I'll just mention that it's really good. In fact, I played Maneater for like 5 minutes. Actually, I played for like 10 or 15 minutes, and then I was like, I'm just going to Mortal Kombat 11. It was way better. um, just everything about it. I'm not ripping up Maneater, literally and figuratively, or pun intended, but it's cool. It's definitely worth checking out, especially for free. But Mortal Kombat 11 is still great. I'm using Jade, and she's just really good. I mention this all the time, and I just did. The load times are incredibly fast, but I put out a tweet on that, so you could check that out. It's on the Boss Room Twitter page. It's almost stunning. It's just like boop, that's it. And I mentioned this before, but I don't know if I mentioned it to you guys. Sometimes they have tips on the screen, because it's originally a PS4 game.
Yeah, you said this last week, I believe.
Yeah, when they do the tips, it's too fast. You can't read it. So I guess that's good though, because you don't have to wait for it to load. But the one I really want to mention today that I kind of saved. Well, and by the way, I also downloaded Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Oh my.
So Shadow of the Tomb Raider, that was a PS Plus game, so I claimed it as well. I didn't download it, but that was one of the free PS Plus games that they had announced recently. So Imamu definitely grabbed that too.
Yeah, definitely.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider is definitely worth picking up. And just to clear one thing up I mentioned last week, I mentioned the bear. That's actually in the game before it. That's the game I was going to buy, but this one's the one I haven't played at all. So I'm excited to check it out. I don't know if what they did with it as far as how it's going to look on the PS5. In fact, I don't even know if there is an upgraded version.
No, I think this is just the PS4 version, but
Yeah.
I heard the game's actually really good.
It's going to be good. I've been wanting to check it out. But the one I was really going to bring up because it was odd. I mentioned this game before, but I actually ended up beating it. Is Little Nightmares, and it's kind of an older game, but Little Nightmares 2 is coming out this year, and it is by I thought it was by I forget who it's by. I don't want to give the wrong information. I thought
It's an indie developer.
Yeah, I don't know if some of them worked on Little Big Planet. I don't know. For some reason, I have Little Big Planet in my head, and it's kind of like the same type of graphic style. But anyway, it's a really weird game, but it's really cool. If you've ever played Limbo or Inside, it's sort of like that, and it's creepy. And I played it with my kids, and it just kind of scaled up, though. It's not too long. I'd say it's probably 3 or 4 hours. If that. But it's a lot of puzzle solving and cool looking levels and environments. You're problem solving and you're trying to get through a nightmare. And there's like one, for example, one level has some weird dude who's really tall and he has really long arms. They're like quadruple the length of regular arms, if not more.
So just to interject quick,
Yeah.
the developer, they actually did develop Little Big Planet DLC
Okay.
and Little Big Planet on the PS Vita, as well as Tearaway on the
Tearaway, that's the
PS4.
other one. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I knew they were related somehow. I just forgot the details, so thanks for finding that.
I believe it's called Tarsier Studios.
Put it this way, you should check out the trailer for sure on YouTube. Just go to YouTube when you're bored and just type Little Nightmares and just watch the trailer because it's very interesting. And I didn't realize this, but after I beat it, I always wait till after I beat a game to really look into it. And there's some lore there because it doesn't answer all the questions in the game, and it's super creepy. But there's actually some DLC that acts, I think, as a prequel, and there's a character in one of the DLC levels that actually makes an appearance in the real game, the full game, and there's a little bit of a storyline behind that too, which is kind of interesting and creepy at the same time. And I don't want to spoil it, but it's worth checking out. And there's also a game for I think iPhone. I'm not sure about Android, but it's called uh, Very Little Nightmares. I think that's what it's called, and I think it's $5.99, $6.99, something like that. But it's another extension of the game that actually adds some information or gives you some of the background to help make the story make a little bit more sense because it's really weird and creepy, which I mentioned. But I'm just kind of excited because I've had it for a while. I got it super cheap one day when they had like one of those big sales. Maybe I might have paid like $3, $4, $5 for it. Probably usually goes for 20. I'm not sure though. I'm just guessing. Maybe Little Nightmares 2 will go for a little more. But I picked it up. I held on to it for a while. If you're in the right mood, it's kind of relaxing. You kind of just sit back, and it's a little creepy environment you have to get through. And and it gets really creepy and really weird and really, really creepy and really, really weird towards the end. And it's not long. If you can get it cheap, check it out. Even if you have to pay full price, because again, I don't know what that costs. But look it up. That's all I can say.
Thank you for listening to The Boss Room. My name is Alex Kaz. Thank you, Shamster.
Boom.
Imamu.
All day.
All night.
Omi.
Yep.
Frank from work.
Hey guys, take it easy.
And X-Wolf. Thank you guys so much. Well, I also want to give one quick other shout out again to secondplayer.net. We really appreciate the article you wrote about us, guys. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
You can find us on Twitter at @the_bossroom and on YouTube, search The Boss Room. Thank you and have a great night.
Later.
We out.